Hello everyone, Daniel Yuck here. Thank you all for tuning in today. I appreciate you. Today we're going to be taking an up-close look and diving into an in-depth review on this product right here from a company called InkClaw. This is going to be the Phoenix 1.5 grip, which is for barred needles. InkClaw also makes the same grip in a 2.0 version, which is for needle cartridges. I've also done an in-depth review on that, so be sure to check that out. I will leave it somewhere floating up here for you all. So with that being said, this one's going to be for the 1.5, which is for barred needles. We're going to be diving in, taking it up close to look at it. We're going to be testing the performance. We're going to go about wrapping it, and anything that I can shed along the way, I'm going to talk about along the way and show you all everything that I possibly can. So by the end of this video, you know what to expect on your end upon picking this up. Should you have any questions at all, though, at any point throughout this video, please feel free to drop a comment below. I will do my best to assist you in the best possible direction. With that being said, let's just dive straight on into this. So let's begin with the box right here. Let me show you all the packaging up close. As you can see, we are greeted with the standard InkClaw box right here. It is a hard shell, so that way you can ensure your investment will be protected upon delivery. Now, lifting the hood here, we're greeted with an assortment of different wires here. As you can see, we have a standard clip cord. I believe this is going to be like a DC input, and then this one's going to be RCA. Forgive me on my terminology on that. I could be wrong, but you can see we're greeted with these three different cords here that are going to go into the grip. We're going to get to that here shortly. So we have those different wires, which is great because InkClaw does provide us with an assortment. As you can see, we have the necessary tool needed to go ahead and do what we need to do. We have a charging cable right here as well. As you can see, USB. And we have the grip right here. And then over here on this side, we have an extra spare tube here that would go down the middle. Now, let's take an up-close look at the grip itself right here. And at first glance, the grip does have a bit of weight to it. It doesn't feel cheap at all in any way, shape, or form either. And disassembly is very, very straightforward at that. It would just simply be as simple as twisting this way, as you see. And then this right here will actually slide out. The tubing slides out. There is a screw right here that we would want to loosen. And that's what this is for right here. So allow me to just kind of demonstrate that right here real time with you all. Like so. And loosen it up just a bit, not too much. And as you can see now, this comes right out. So as you can see, we can autoclave these components right here, and we can autoclave this. So this part right here is 110% autoclavable, or these components right here are 110% autoclavable. As you can see, they are high quality material. This part right here, we do not want to put into the autoclave. This does house electrical components, so what we can do with this is simply wipe it down with like Cavicide or Opticide wipes. As you can see though, now we have access to every surface here almost in its entirety to really get in there and clean and really thoroughly wipe this down. And in terms of putting it back together, it's very straightforward. So you would go with the tube sizing. I'm gonna go with the shorter one, and then you would just simply slide it in like so. And then after you do that, you want to come back to the screw behind here, and then you're just gonna want to fasten that in, tighten it. And as you can see, this is no longer coming out. We get this piece right here, and we screw it right back on. And that is how you assemble and disassemble. It's a very, very simple, very, very straightforward. To turn it on, you hold it down, as you can see. As you can see, it's very responsive. If I hold these two down right here, it activates the jumpstart, as you can see. To deactivate that, hold them down again. Very simple, very straightforward. Now, that is pretty much the grip in its entirety. And just to reiterate, we can autoclave the tube. We can autoclave the tip. We cannot autoclave the unit. The unit, we're going to want to wipe that down. However, we can now access everything that we need access to sterilize, making this a low-risk unit here, as opposed to the Phoenix 1.0 grip, where there are some discrepancies there. Just to confirm and reiterate, as you all can see, we can take this apart in its entirety. Real simple, real seamless, real easy, no issues whatsoever. As you see, if you need a longer one, you can go ahead and do so. Again, very straightforward, very direct, Me personally, I'm a big fan of the grip of these InkClaw grips. I'm a big fan of the 1.5 and the 2. I'm even a fan of the first grip that InkClaw came out with, which is the Phoenix 1.0, as I have not seen anything like that on the market. But InkClaw did make massive updates on the design here, so this is a lot more low risk now, and I thank InkClaw for that. I tip my hat to InkClaw for that, and I'm gonna give them a thumbs up for that because they are listening. They did make massive updates. Now for setting up, I feel it's going to be very straightforward. I'm going to be using the InkClaw More Money tattoo machine, as you can see right here. We will be doing an in-depth review on this. I'm also going to be using some of the InkClaw barred needles. For this demonstration, we're going to be testing out a standard 9-round liner long taper. So that's what we're going to use for this demonstration. I don't have access to large amounts of barred needles, so I'm going to use this to, again, demonstrate the performance. I would also like to illustrate wrapping and setting up. So let's get into setting up, then we can get into wrapping, then we can get into the performance, and then final opinions. Allow me to place this off to the side. So this is what I'm going to need. I have my tube, my needle tip tube, and then I have the barred needle. I have the grip, and then I have the tattoo machine right here. So let's just begin opening this up here. And where I'm going to begin typically is with the tip tube. I'm going to loosen this up just a bit, enough to get the tip tube in there like so, as you can see. I'm going to line the top of the tube up with this right here, just because that makes sense to me. Then I'm going to fasten it in there like so, and as you can see now the tube is in there and it's not going anywhere. And then I'm going to next grab my needle and I'm going to place it in like so. And then from there what I'm going to do is simply fasten this and then align and put everything together. And this is very straightforward, so if you use traditional style machines, you would be very familiar with this sort of setup here. So as you can see, we now have the needle on the grommet here. And from here, what I can do is grab my wire. As you see, it is magnetic. And I'm just simply going to place it around my tattoo machine like so, or place it on rather. Okay, so as you see, we have the bar on top, needle side down right here, as you see. And it's working great. Allow me to put a little rubber band right here. And you can see the grip is pushing barred needles with no problems, with ease, I'll add. It feels very, very smooth. And again, this is barred needles. Now, if that was a little unclear, allow me to show you all again. So I'm just going to disassemble the entire machine here, like so, as you see. The machine is disassembled. Assembly, again, is going to be very straightforward. Where I'm going to begin is I grab the machine, grab the needle, place it down like so, hook it onto the machine like so, and then from here I can grab my tip tube, place it right here, make sure that I screw it on there, make sure that it's fastened. I go ahead and I'm carefully going to place this down the way, making sure that I'm not bumping the needle and jamming the tips there or ruining the tips of the needles. And then from here, I'm going to push the needle out and try and adjust the depth here as best as I possibly can. I'm going to grab this rubber band to place it on the bar and simply turn it on. We're at 8 volts, fire it up. As you can see, like butter, it's just running smooth, quiet. This is perfect. This is actually a perfect setup. The way that it feels, it has a bit of vibration, but it's not anything abnormal. I experienced a very similar vibration even using tattoo pin style machines or pin style tattoo machines. But all in all, right now, it's a very easy setup. I do love the fact that InkClaw updated the grip so that way we can sterilize more efficiently and effectively. And what I would like to get into now is the wrapping part of this machine. So let's go ahead and get into that. Now, for wrapping machines, it's going to vary from person to person, and I'm sure that everyone's going to have a different approach or feel comfortable doing it different ways. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of saran wrap like so, and I'm going to begin with wrapping it around this area right here. I have to be mindful that I have a moving component right here, so I don't want to put cling wrap right here, as I'm sure it'll definitely get clinged in there and wrapped around and possibly cause damage to the machine, or potentially cause damage, which is something I want to stay away from. So I'm going to get some saran wrap like so, and I'm just going to place it around right here as much as I can, just like that. So what I'm doing is I'm putting a plastic barrier around my machine, and my goal is to make the machine more of a low risk machine to use. So as you can see, I have a layer of saran wrap around the entire grip. That can vary. You can again cover it with whatever you choose. For the top part, I'm going to want to use a plastic bag, this sandwich bag. Now, I know this is not ideal for wrapping this sort of machine. It doesn't look professional, and some professionals may even frown upon using this simple sandwich bag. However, I don't have specific bags for a traditional style setup, as I do use tattoo or pen style tattoo machines. So I'm gonna work with what I have. As you see, I have a sandwich bag. I just simply tore off the Ziploc part, and then I'm going to use this to put a barrier around and over the machine. And I'm choosing this bag, as you can see, because it's more stiffer, so therefore it's not rubbing against the motor here, and I can utilize the machine as I need to without having, you know, it get in the way too much there. So as you can see, just like that, I'm gonna literally just leave it like that. And I know it doesn't look professional in some eyes, however, it is going to work. It is going to get the job done. And as you can see, I take this barrier film and I kind of just lock it in place like so. And just like that, it is now a truly low risk machine. As you can see, just move the bag out of the way and we can continue tattooing. So just like that though, I went ahead and I placed a wrapping around my machine. And again, this can be to each their own. It's going to vary from person to person. This is how I would go about wrapping my machine in a nutshell. It's very straightforward, very simple. Whether or not it looks great is fully subjective. However, this wrapping will definitely get the job done and is definitely going to work. I can get another piece of a barrier film just to lock it in, making sure that that bag on top is not coming off. And I am now literally ready to begin my tattoo. If I hear any of that noise that I don't like, just move the bag out the way. Here we have some real skin. We have this wormhole silicone hand, and then we're gonna use this real skin, fake skin, to just pull some lines and really test how this grip feels. Now, I understand the performance is really coming from the machine because the machine's what's driving the needle. However, I want to shed light and touch base on the grip right here. So I'm going to, again, just shed whatever practical information I have on the grip upon using. So as you can hear, it's very, very quiet. It's very, very low vibration, in my opinion, from what I've typically experienced. Let me actually test out some lines here and let's see how it performs. And keep in mind, I really don't use barred needles like ever. So I'm not fully acquainted with barred needles. However, upon pulling lines, it kind of feels the exact same as cartridge needles. I don't notice any apparent differences. But what I will say is this grip feels super stable. I'm definitely not against barred needles at all. This is actually a really nice setup. This setup right here, the More Money InkClaw tattoo machine combined with the InkClaw 1.5 Phoenix grip, it's like an elite combo. Even the InkClaw 2.0 grip is an elite combo with this machine right here. So as you can see though, we're able to pull a nice, clean, one-pass saturated lines with ease. The needle is super stable, low vibration, low noise, absolutely beautiful in my opinion here. And I'm just doing random lines. I'm pulling at 8 volts, so keep in mind I am at 8 volts. I'm gonna drop this down to about 5 volts. So we are at 6 volts on the dot there. So the grip is definitely able to perform on multiple fronts as well. And I am shading with a 9-round liner, or I'm stippling with a 9-round liner long taper, which is something I would never do. But since I don't have access to barred needles, I'm just trying to illustrate as much as I potentially can here with this one needle for you all. And as you can see though, I am getting nice smooth textures there. Overall though, you can hear this feels super smooth. It doesn't even, you know, feel like it's on really. Let me go back up to 8 volts here. So we're at 8 volts on the dot. Wow, so what I am gonna say is this thing definitely performs. This is ultra smooth. I'm very, very fond of these InkClaw grips, not to mention that More Money tattoo machine. If you're not familiar with it, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. I'm gonna be doing an in-depth review on that tattoo machine as well. I wanna bring you up close, that way you can see the needle performance in action. Okay, so here we are right up on the skin, and as you can see, we're using the Phoenix 1.5 grip with the barred needle, and we're using the More Money InkClaw tattoo machine. Let's go ahead and pull some lines up close. That way you can really see the machine perform in its entirety here. This thing feels smooth in my hands though. Nothing adverse, nothing that I want to relay in terms of negative. And I'm always real transparent. I'm always, you know, being mindful of both. Anything that may be a little adverse or anything at all, I'm going to relay here in the video. And at the moment, there's nothing truly negative that I want to relay. So you can see very consistent, very stable, ultra smooth. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little circle here. We're just going to pack some black just to kind of get an idea. So all in all, I'm very, very happy with the performance. And again, this is a mild demonstration. However, every time I've used the machine on fake skin and I've used it on human skin, it's always translated well. It was always pretty accurate to what I felt on fake skin. So that's why I stick with these mild demonstrations, to show you the essentials here, such as lining, packing, and even shading. And at the moment, what I am going to say is I'm very, very, very happy with how this overall setup from InkClaw performs. I mean, it performs wonderfully. I would feel confident using this on human skin to do tattoos. I would feel confident using it to do larger tattoos, or really any style of tattoos. The grip feels ultra stable. I do love the fact that it's low risk. We can sterilize a good portion of it. We could wipe down all the surfaces as well. So as you can see, we're just pulling steady, continuous lines back to back to back. Allow me to bring you back to the top view here. So here we are at the top view, and all in all, I'm very happy. Again, I can't exhaust that enough. I'm truly happy with the overall performance and stability that these InkClaw 1.5 grip provides, as well as the InkClaw Phoenix 2.0 grips. The InkClaw Phoenix grips, I would highly recommend to check them out, especially if you're wanting to look for a more traditional style approach with a modern twist. This is definitely worth checking out. As you can see, stability, stable, consistent. I have nothing adverse to really report, other than I had to use a sandwich bag to cover the top of the machine. However, I am personally truly not mad at that. It really doesn't bother me. It's resourceful, it's effective, it worked for this demonstration. However, I'm sure they make better bags to better suit this right here. But that's pretty much the only adverse thing that I would say, is that I use a sandwich bag. Other than that, in terms of performance, in terms of ease of use, in terms of investment wise, I can highly recommend this setup. I would feel confident recommending this setup simply because of the massive updates that InkClaw included, where we can now disassemble the 1.5 grip and autoclave the major components that could potentially be exposed. Not only that, we have access to wipe down almost the entire surface area of the actual unit here. All in all, I can highly recommend this right here, and I would feel confident recommending it. And again, especially if you're looking for a more traditional setup, I would recommend checking this out. What I will do for you is I will leave links in the description below, so you can check this out on your end should you choose to do so. Now, if you have any questions at all, or if I didn't touch base on anything specific throughout this video, please feel free to drop a comment below. I'm going to do my absolute best to assist you in the best possible direction. I also have social medias all under the same name as my YouTube channel, Daniel Yuck. That's going to be DANIELYUCK. I have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. I would truly appreciate the support. Yet again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for me and ring that bell, as I am going to be bringing more videos like this for you all. Thank you for tuning in yet again. Y'all have a great day.